Welcome back to the Believe in Badger Football podcast on the Believe Podcast Network, presented by betonline.ag. Once again, I'm your host, Matt Perkins, joined as always by Badger legend, the Hebrew Hammer himself, Matt Bernstein. Matty, how are we doing today?
We are good, reminiscing about the good old days. We have a guy that I came in with, was my roommate, Old Shore Hands, the weatherman, the OG OD. You have a lot of nicknames, bro. Owen Daniels.
Oh man, that's an oldie but a goodie. Yeah, man, that's true. I actually do have a lot of nicknames. There's really one that's stuck though. Just the OD is stuck. You know, my favorite.
I always appreciated Weatherman because seeing you on the news doing the weather, the couple times you did that was one of my favorite. Like, that was appointment television for me in school.
Oh my gosh. I don't think I've ever been more nervous in my life than doing weather reports in Madison or any of the cities I did them in when I was in the NFL. Man, it's like totally out of my element. And but it was a unique challenging experience. So I'm glad you tuned in for my amateur.
It was awesome, man. It was absolutely awesome.
Unique.
You know? I loved seeing you on TV as a weatherman. Like, I thought it was the coolest thing that could possibly happen.
That was actually, so the whole weather program was a big reason why I ended up at Wisconsin. Is that, you know, they have fantastic atmospheric and oceanic science school there, and Professor John Martin was the head of the school there at the time, and head of the department. And you know, it was great to learn under him, and it was a big reason why I made that decision. I mean, there's a lot of Big Ten schools, some more local schools like Northwestern back in the Chicago area, which I'm glad I did not go there. If I could go back and do it all again, I'd go right back to Madison. But yeah, it was a big role. It was like, I don't know if I just like that for a lot of guys, but for me, it was part of the decision-making process.
No, I think that's, you know, for a lot of guys, I'm sure, like, football is a big reason. For me, it was football. You know, coming from the East Coast, the only team we had in New York was like Syracuse and Rutgers, and they both were down in the dumps. So, yeah, you know, when the Big Ten came knocking, my dad's like, dude, this is the place for you, though. You'll be a fullback. You'll be able to, you know, run and be physical.
Yeah.
So it was the best choice. But so a young OD, Naperville's finest. When did you start playing? Like, were your parents like, dude, just jump in, like, you should be a football player?
Yeah. So, man, growing up, I just remember liking all sports. I was lucky. I grew up in the golden age of the Chicago Bulls in the 90s there. So, but even before that, I was really into sports. I was out, and I just remember just from the get-go loving football. I don't know what it was about it. Maybe it was just, it was a point in my life where it was on TV in the household. And I just that's when I started getting into sports. And that was the first thing that was there, or that I remember being there. I remember asking for like the Cincinnati Bengals, like Boomer Esiason, and one of those old school, like Huffy plastic helmets and jerseys. That I still actually have, not plastic helmet, but I got to take a picture of it, because I have a picture of myself like posing like I'm throwing a football with football in my hand, wearing that jersey when I was like probably 6 or 7, and now I have my 4-year-old. We have the same jersey, the jersey that I was wearing, and he is wearing it, and it fits him much too tightly than it should right now. So, it was the Bengals helmets or what it was. I think that's what initially drew me to the Bengals in general, but the game of football, my dad liked watching it. And then every chance I could get, I want to go out and play catch with Pops. And then we eventually made our way to Naperville, and I think I was about 10 years old, 3rd grade-ish, when my parents let me start playing tackle football. So that's pretty much when you can start playing. I think maybe a year or two before that, and but I was on it right away.
And were you a quarterback from the beginning?
So no, when I was young, I was a big kid. So you know how they do it when you're in like Pee Wee football.
They fat shame you.
What? Right. Exactly. Yeah. Like I was always a taller kid and like heavier for my grade or my age group, and so it was like I always had to play up with the older kids. So I was actually my first year playing. I remember I was on the Bengals and Naperville Bengals, and I was a fullback. And
wow.
Yeah. And so I played fullback. Then I played on a traveling team where I was like a defensive lineman, and I was a tight end actually.
Okay.
And then that transitioned into me playing quarterback in like 6th grade, running back, defensive end. Just like a kid who's always on the field playing whatever, right? And then I started playing quarterback for real in 8th grade. That's when I kind of made the decision, like, all right, my dad was a quarterback in high school. He walked on at the University of Illinois for like a year, I think. But I remember seeing pictures of him around the house, like old high school pictures. Like, I want to be like my dad. So wanted to have the ball in my hands and kind of be in control, and felt like that was a good role for me as like a leadership role playing quarterback. So I jumped right in it, and it lasted for a little while.
But dude, a little while as you shined super bright though. Like you guys won. What? First off, explain to me what's 6A? Is there more than that?
So now there is. Yeah. So now there's like 8. There's 8 classes in Illinois.
But you were the top class.
At time it was 6A. It was
6A. Okay. I'm just, for everyone listening, OD was a 6A state champion in football.
6A
junior.
Well, yeah, 1999. Illinois 6A state champs, 14-0. I was the quarterback. We had a really good running back. We had a really good offensive line, like 275 across the board. But basically, we had some big boys now. Our running back, little white dude, had like 54 touchdowns in 14 games. It was insane.
That's insane.
Those are what we call Matt Bernstein numbers.
Yeah, 100%. And it was like, if Bernie would have been on our team, oh my gosh. We probably would have been the number 1 ranked team in the country. We were number 5. USA Today had us at number 5 that year.
Yeah, dude, that is baller.
It was crazy. And then we were supposed to repeat my senior year because that was my junior year. And I ended up tearing my ACL 3rd game of the season my senior year. So that was a bit of a bummer.
Yeah.
But it was actually crazy. Like that story. So I hurt my knee on a Friday night. I knew I hurt my knee, but I didn't know what was wrong with it. I kept playing. The trainer's like, yeah, you're all right.
Yeah.
Well, trainer, man. They're doing their best. But the crazy thing about it was the next day I had my official visit up in Wisconsin. And so I'm up there and man, I forget. I think Coach White was like trying to get me to run out like down the ramp with the team. I was like, man, I'm sore. I'm sore last night, man. I can't do this. I'm just gonna chill. And little did I know, I had no idea. I hadn't got an MRI or anything. I was like, we were driving up early the next morning to get to Madison, and I ended up committing in Coach Alvarez's office that Sunday. I was super excited about it. And because I really, I visited a bunch of schools and a bunch of Big Ten schools, and went out to Colorado and out west, checked some places out, and just nothing was really jumping out at me. And when I had taken an unofficial during the summer, I was like, man, this is the first place I'm going to go on my official visit. And then once I, saw some, I had the game day experience, and it was just a no-brainer for me. So, but then it was like a couple of days later, I found out got an MRI, and like, yeah, this is where your ACL is supposed to be. I'm like, what do you mean it's where it's supposed to be? I was like, oh shit. But yeah, as classy of a school as Wisconsin is, they honored the scholarship, and as a matter of fact, like it was like a week or two later, Wisconsin was playing Northwestern, and Northwestern had been heavy on me recruiting, and I was really interested in their coaching staff. And Evanston's a pretty cool place, but I mean, nothing compared to Madison, obviously, and everything it has to offer. Once I stepped foot in Madison, I was like, all right, like this is in a whole nother league. They kept on calling. Like, they played an overtime game against Northwestern in 2000 in Madison, and the Wildcats ended up winning like in OT, and like right after the game, I'm getting calls from Northwestern like, you sure you want to are you kidding me, dude? Get out of here. That's this even emphasize, it even like reinforces my decision. You guys calling me up right now. So yeah, I felt very fortunate to be able to go to Wisconsin, and that they still honored that scholarship for me.
But I mean, that's pretty amazing, because it's not typical of, I'm not saying Wisconsin, but of other places. You get hurt, a lot of areas you're either cut or they're just like, oh, we can't honor this because this wasn't part of the deal. So listen, I'm thrilled. I'm sure everyone from Wisconsin's thrilled that they honored it, and I'm sure Barry's pretty pumped that he kept you around.
Man, I'm sure glad they did, and yeah, I don't know how a lot of other schools do it. That's no guarantee to come back from that injury. I think there's a pretty high success rate, but there's no guarantees, right? Especially with like, hometown surgeons, or you don't get, you don't have the surgeon that the university necessarily wants you to have it with. You know how that stuff can kind of go. So, yeah, I was really grateful to still be able to have a chance to go up there and improve myself, and just more motivation to get myself ready, get through rehab. And it was a non-issue once I got on campus. So appreciate old Barry Alvarez for that one.
So you show up, it's July of the summer of 2001?
Yeah.
And you're in the Regent.
Yeah.
Who was your roommate at the Regent pre us even being members of the university team?
So that summer, I was roommates with John Gillen.
Okay.
And Brett Bell, because we're all from the same area, right? Yeah. So all kind of, I think we kind of all linked up at the spring game a little bit, and then Brett and I actually played against each other. Our high schools were in the same conference, so, and he actually had the same injury too. He had tore his ACL earlier that his senior season in football, so we kind of bonded over that, and worked through our rehabs together a little bit. And so, that was that was just a wild experience in general. Just being up there to work out, and like almost it being official, and working with the team a little bit, but still being like super intimidated by the older people that were there, and just trying not to step on any toes, and just kind of find my place in line there,
Yeah, believe me, I know. I showed up on a Tuesday when we had to go into the stadiums and do this. I mean, I was like, man, I'm like the biggest loser on this team. Like, I can't even do this. This is impossible.
Oh, dude. So I always tell people, if you want to ever have like 100% guarantee of great weather, just plan something in the summer in Madison at 2 p.m. or 4 p.m. on a Tuesday. Beautiful. It will not rain at all. Even if there's a chance to rain that day, it ain't raining for at least.
Even if it says 100% rain right that second, it's not going to be raining.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. Unbelievable.
I love that.
didn't rain one time in 5 years there on a stadium day. Not once.
Dude, I love that you said that. And even when it rained like an hour before and we're like, oh, it's going to be wet up there, they had dudes up there with the towels towering off the. It was
like even when it's dry, I think about that. Like, I can't believe there weren't more people getting hurt. Like, going up was one thing, but going down was the sketchy part.
Because people sprinted down to take a break.
Yeah, 100%. And for big steps too. Legs are tired, legs are jello. Oh my gosh, dude.
So when you get there, like, I mean, I have funny memories of us as like a group in this place. It's like you put 10, 15, 18-year-olds in a building that all our responsibility was to work out for like 2 hours a day. We had nothing else to do. And I just remember like no door was ever locked. Like we would just hang out all day. Listen to the Yin Yang Twins.
I remember the same thing, man. I just remember hanging out with Tez and Sparky and Rob Brooks, man. And they're, like learning me up about like Project Pat and 504 boys and shit like that. Like, oh my gosh. I don't, this is cool. I like this.
Dude, the 504 boys.
Yeah. Doors were never locked. There was no
one else in the region either, though. Like, there was nobody there but us. I don't remember anyone. Yeah.
If there are other people in there, we're sorry.
Yeah. There was also no computers, I had nothing of value.
Yeah, it's true. 100%.
I didn't even have a credit card. Like, I think I had a debit card.
Yeah, a duffel bag full of clothes. And I definitely didn't have a cell phone. I didn't have a cell phone until like my second year in college, which I think I was one of the last guys to get a cell phone, which honestly was kind of cool because I still have people's numbers memorized. I still have Jason Palermo's cell phone number memorized, dude.
Dude, that's awesome.
339-6470. And we would break it down like numbers of guys on the team. So it was like Sparky, Eric Bickerstaff.
That's how I do everything.
Matt Lawrence, Isaac Ballou.
Funny that you say that, because that's the only way that I can remember pretty much any number outside of like my PIN number. It's just dudes' jersey numbers.
Yeah, that's great.
Wait, OD, I have a story that just popped into my head. You and me we're at the Towers. We're freshmen. We'll go back because we have a lot of funny things you and I did together. Didn't my dad take us to get scooters? And like we were negotiating like buying two at the same time and like what they would do.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
We're almost late for the first meeting of the year.
We're out there at Englehart getting our scooters.
Yeah, like Fish Hatchery Road and the Beltway. We're trying to get back and like it's rush hour. And I swear we got in that meeting room like 30 seconds before we're about to pay a big price. So
big.
But
also,
shout out Papa Bernstein for helping us out. Yeah.
I thought that was so funny. But also, we really never rode a scooter before. And my dad's like, here, guys, here are the keys. Okay. So, and good luck. He just got on a scooter and went. No helmet.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. We must have at some point like tried out one of the older guys once during the summer. I don't know. But good thing is those things didn't have too much giddy up on it. They would just like wouldn't flap underneath us, man. But that was I was probably just more terrified that I was going to be late for that meeting than it was, am I safe on this scooter for the first time, man? Oh my gosh.
And as you say, being late for anything, I don't think I was late for anything because of the price you paid was worse than, like, if someone hit me on my scooter and I broke my leg, I would have been still yelled at, but I would have been better off having that happen. Like, you had to like get really hurt to miss a meeting.
Holy cow. Yeah, just straight sheer paranoia that you live with as an athlete when you have to get up for morning lifts, or if you're taking a nap during the day, like multiple alarms set, like probably aren't going to get any sleep as it is because I'm too worried about being late. Yeah, man, just can't, especially young, as a young guy, you can't be late. You can't be late. That rings true in the league too. It's like, yeah, you'll have physical punishment in college for sure. You see guys, we knew the guys were like, and even at a certain point, it was like, if you weren't like 20 minutes early for the lift, that was pretty close to being late, which was pretty messed up. So, yeah, I just never wanted to know what that was like what kind of workouts I had to do on the treadmill or any of that stuff. So I do think I was late, like in the summer, or missed a lift in the summer in the morning going into our senior year. And I just slept through it or something and just caught up in the afternoon group. So JD was cool about that with me the one time.
Yeah, but it's amazing because you were already doing so well. Right.
Yeah.
4 years of never missing one. You missed one, and JD was okay with the one time because I think once you like garner JD's respect, then you could, not saying you could do that all the time, you could do it one time. I feel like there was one, and that was one and done.
It was summertime. It wasn't like it was like an in-season deal or a spring ball thing, like middle of the summer, June, like right in the heart of summer school, but I still was like scared walking in his office, man. Like, hey man, I'm sorry. Like long night studying. Okay, you're all right.
Dude, that's all you wanted to hear. Yeah. All you wanted to hear. You didn't, because if you were ever late, you had JD was all over you. Then you had your position coach would yell at you. And then if Alvarez was even around, you knew he was going to yell at you. It's amazing. How did that go up so high? It went all the way to the top. Like if you were late to a lift, it's amazing. Scary.
You got to hear from everybody. Like, yeah, okay. Yeah. All right. You were late.
Trainers.
Like, who's in that
trainers
guy?
Like, what are you doing? Why are you late? Oh man, a lot of people relying on you.
I get it.
I'm sorry, Matt P. We're talking nothing about football at all, but
this is like, the good stuff, dude, man. This is the good stuff. This is what I'm here for.
I think OD, you and I and I really got close at camp when we went to camp.
Seminary.
I feel like we spent at the seminary. We spent like every second together outside of meeting rooms, because you were with the Qs and I was with the running backs. But I feel like we spent so much time together. Then we were roommates, which was hilarious because we were with Isaac Ballou and Matt Lawrence on the other side, and they didn't have a TV. So they just sat in our room all the time and watched TV. It's like we'd be sleeping at like 7:30, 8 o'clock sometimes because we had to wake up at 5 o'clock to go to lift. Isaac would just be in there watching till like midnight. We were like, dude, come on, man. You got to get out of here.
Yeah. Isaac, you're a gray shirt, man. What the hell, dude? Like,
yeah, exactly. Gray shirted, right? And I'm like, man, you can't be in here at 2 o'clock in the morning watching TV.
Yeah, man. Some of my I will. Some memories are burned into my mind from that room, and one of the memories was watching the Oregon game. We had like a little watch party in our room. It was a later game. I don't know if it was the night game out west, but it was in Madison, and it was a hell of a game. We ended up taking an L, but that was pretty cool. I'll never forget watching that with the guys and little mini party in there.
I mean, we put as many people in that room as we could fit.
Yeah. Capacity for sure.
But we were getting yelled at too. We got yelled at a bunch, but I remember OD, you were Stocco's guide. That's not right. Tour guide for when he came. And I just remember like taking a shy young John Stocco who never said a word to like the bars.
Stock, man. What do we call that?
Like his
You're
host for his official visit?
Yeah, we're hosts. Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't have done it alone, it was a team effort. So that was always like my official visit was nerve-wracking. I was like, I didn't drink in high school, and so that was just a little bit it was a little bit awkward for me when I was coming in, but so I could understand. I never really tried to like make guys too uncomfortable in those situations, because you want a guy to like see what's available and not make them feel like they have to participate. They don't feel comfortable at the time. But so I think we did a decent job with stock and coming through.
You might be the only guy that I got when I hosted to come, and he wasn't my guy. He was yours. I don't think anyone ever came when I hosted them. Sorry, I feel bad. Like, stop giving me this. The kids, like, it's between Wisconsin and Georgetown. I'm like, dude, I'm not the guy. Like, that guy doesn't want me. He wants like Chris Presley, who's like a genius. Like, don't. And hey,
sure.
I can't. Who was the recruiting guy? I can't remember. Was it Sims? That's
Sims? Yeah, Jeremy
Sims. Jeremy Sims. He'd like, Burn, this guy had the best time of his life with you, and then would verbally commit the next day somewhere else.
Like, guess what? I cannot. I will not survive there.
Oh man.
Man, there's a wide receiver who ended up going to Oklahoma State. Blackman.
Justin Blackman.
Justin Blackman. He was like, he had a visit in Madison, and that was like his response. He's like, nope. I will not survive. I gotta go somewhere else. Hey, it's not for everybody,
It's not. I mean, Madison is not for everyone. Okay, so let's bring it back. So we come in. We were actually talking with Garrett Groshek. He started off on the scout team where you and I started off, sadly. And he was the quarterback too. So I was like, wait, I looked at OD every day as like the QB. So we were scout team. Dude, what happened after that for you? I mean, I have thoughts in my mind, but like you lived it. So your scout team, what happened? Like what clicked? And then we'll get into like the switch. So I want to hear your thoughts on like how they switch you to tight end.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was actually like, I don't know why. I think the last week or I was thinking about, I was kind of reflecting on, like my mind wanders at night sometimes. I don't know, like how did my mind get to this place? Thinking about like scout team or like taking a quarterback test on Fridays, my true freshman year. And I was like, did I even know? Was I even getting taught anything? Like, I don't really remember like game plan meetings necessarily. I remember going to scout team meetings to like watch what the other offense did. And I remember running the scout team plays. And then I had to go in with Brooks and Sorge and Shabert and Scott Willie. And we'd be like taking these tests. Devin Hollins, we're like taking these hard ass quarterback tests. And I'm just like, I don't know what I don't know the answers to these questions. I can't even name 5 plays in the playbook right now. So yeah, man, I just I think the whole scout team thing, looking back, is, as a scholarship athlete or anyone who's playing, anybody really, right, who's going to play football in college probably hasn't done any scout team stuff in high school, or most of them haven't. And so that role is a whole different role. It's different because you're not playing, which is different in itself, which is kind of hard to accept at times. And then trying to accept that role and kind of find a way to get better within throwing it to the guy that's circled. Like, okay, like, but don't throw an interception, but throw it to the guy that's circled. Like, all right, sure. But I got some good memories from scout team, some funny memories. Just Coach Palermo would say, he always had some great one-liners. him and Hughes, man, they always have some great one-liners. The line coaches are probably the best wordsmiths on a coaching staff, at least a college football coaching staff. Holy cow, they put words together in a sentence that I never even knew to go together, and it just made the most sense and it really stung. It really stung. Like hits you where it hurts, man. But I think my whenever
I'm sorry to laugh so hard because you're so right and it's so funny. Like Palermo would MF you the whole week. You can't read a card, you dummy, like all that. Yeah. And I never got upset about it. I actually thought it was kind of funny. We joke about it afterwards. We'd go up to each other, be like, how dumb are you? You can't read a card. And then we just go to his house and hang out with him, and he'd be like, hey, Bern, what's up? How are you doing? And I'm like, what? I'm scared of you, dude. And you're just like, I'm just your son's friend.
Are you cool with me being in your house? Gosh, you know why they call them dummy cards? Because you're a fucking idiot.
you're a dummy. That's right. Dude, Palermo would be like, you hit the line, hit the end. Like, how hard is this for you? And I'm like, I don't know. They lined up in a different, because we ran a different front. And I'm like, the dummy card says it's a 4-3, and they had 5 guys on the line. I'm like, what's just the end? And you couldn't ask him questions because then you just got MF'd even harder.
Yeah.
So you just kind of went with whatever.
They're getting pissed because they're running the scout team and they're not. Their guys aren't doing the right stuff. Get them to do the right thing. Oh man, that's kind of what I deal with in high school football now that I'm coaching. Like, so I get that. I get it a little bit now. But my memory of scout team might have been one of the biggest mistakes I ever made my freshman year. I was playing quarterback. We were like doing a red zone drill or something like that. And I rolled out to the left and decided to run. And like our All-American cornerback, Mike Eccles, was standing on the goal line. And I'm like, oh, he's gonna try to tackle me.
And so you trucked him.
And yeah, I trucked
Mike Eccles. Dude, you know how fired up we got?
Oh yeah, I do. And then I was like, oh boy.
They were, dude, that was it. They came at us that whole day pissed.
They were pissed. Sorry, guys. But he was gonna. I was gonna get got. You know, I didn't get.
Dude, oh my God, this is the best. Mike Eccles did not expect that for 1 second.
No, he didn't. And I think I saw him a few years back when we were at a game together back in 17 or 18, and that was brought up, and I was like, hey, I swear that wasn't my plan. I had to do it.
Dude, I love that. All right, so now you're thrust into playing, because I remember was it Brooks and Sorge, but then like those guys were getting interchanging, getting hurt. You were a third string. Which game were you thrown in to start?
Nah, I never started. So
it was the Iowa game. Like you had to go in.
I was third string going into the Iowa game in Iowa City, right? Brooks got KO'd early in the game, and then I was standing around watching. Now I'm second in line to go, and then Sorge gets banged up late in the game, and they decided to put me in there. And actually, things went pretty well at first. I completed a pass to Jo and completed a couple of passes, and then had a nice run, quarterback draw or scramble, whatever, and then I ended up throwing a pick. So that was the end of my first experience. First game. So now I go to the next week, a home game against Illinois. Brooks is out from his concussion, so I'm the backup. And I thought I had a pretty good week of practice, was kind of getting a little more comfortable. And at least in the Iowa game, that first time, like there was an injury timeout or a change possession or something, and I got to at least like warm up. It was a sunny day, you know. I got to get like loose again because it was the fourth quarter. I've been sitting around not doing anything all game, doing dummy signals. So then, so now I come to the Illinois game, and we were down a couple scores late in the game, and fourth quarter again. Sorge we actually had a little bit of a drive going. He completed a pass down the field, and he got hit when he threw it, hit his arm that he had hurt the week before. And it was a cold day. All right. This is my defense right here. It was a cold day. It was the fourth quarter. I probably hadn't thrown a pass. Maybe I threw a couple at halftime, but I was like, oh, Sorge is good. He's playing. Like, there was no TV timeout. There was no timeout to get the backup in the game ready. Let him warm up a little bit. Maybe let him hand the ball off one time. No, during the play clock, they send me in the game. There's no like, all right, you're gonna go in, like, type of situation. Sorge like runs off, holding his arm, and we're trying to hurry up, so they run me on. I remember the play call is Hank, and to try to throw it to Pashodi, and threw a pick. And then went to try to make the first play, pick. Try to go make the tackle, missed, and I think he gained like 20 yards after that. So that was the end of quarterback for me. That was the last time I ever went under center. I never once handed the ball off, which would have been, maybe for the backup quarterback, let him get comfortable and let him hand the ball off once or twice. Nah, let this kid throw it. He's been stiff and standing around in the cold all day. I don't know who holds the record. I might. If there's anyone that's got a worse rating than me, that I'd like to know. I don't know if I qualify maybe necessarily, because I don't have 10 pass. I had 6 pass attempts, so I was 2 of 6, but really I was 4 of 6 because 2 went to the other team. And it was like a nick. I legitimately thought I must have just been thinking like NFL QBRs, because the floor, the bottom 0 is as low as you can go in the NFL. But apparently you can go negative in college. I'm like 24 point something QBR, career quarterback rating.
Minus 20.7.
No, minus 20.7. There we go. Thank you.
Now you can find everything on Google.
Not as bad as I thought.
Well, for a good reason. I mean, it worked out way better than probably being a quarterback and being stuck in that position.
I don't think I would have, it was a dream of mine. I think that was, a childhood dream to be to be a college quarterback and to play quarterback in the NFL, and to be the next Wisconsin quarterback behind Brooks and Sorge. And, but football is an interesting sport that kind of, you got to find a way, if you want it, if you really, love it or need it in your life, you find a way to kind of evolve with it or change it, whatever you want to do. So I was really fortunate that the coaching staff came to me after that regular season and was like, hey, we want to use you in the bowl game as this secret weapon at tight end, because our tight ends are really good blockers. They're super solid and they could catch the ball. They just weren't necessarily like vertical threats down the field. Not big time speed guys. So this was going to be a total surprise for Colorado. And so I remember having a blast doing it. Such a fun time doing it in bowl practice. And I was killing the guy. I was like running past Jimmy. I was having so much fun and making plays. And then I blew out my knee again. This one was bad. So I was playing and practicing with the first team offense because they were going to use me in the game. And then they had me scrimmage with the first year and second year guys who didn't play a lot that year. So ACL, MCL, lateral meniscus in that bowl practice, in that young guy scrimmage. And I didn't realize how bad the injury was. I think until I got to the NFL and realized that injury hurt my draft status, and it's inevitably what forced me to retire.
Really?
Yeah. Any injury that I had in the league, I was able to rehab and come back from, but that injury, it was really like the lateral meniscus. I'm bone there. And so I'm just really fortunate to have had Coach Kubiak around in the league and on other teams to get signed by other teams. Cause I was failing physicals left and right after the Texans released me. So yeah, just at Wisconsin to have that opportunity to hey, we kind of see a different direction for you going forward here. They're like, hey, you can, like I said before, Wisconsin, super classy institution, super classy program. They were very honest with me. They were like, hey, we understand if you want to play quarterback, and that's okay. But here's the deal. If you want to play quarterback, you're going to start down at the bottom of the totem pole. You got to work your way all the way back up. And they're like, and we're willing to help you transfer if that's what you want to do. And the whole transfer thing just never really sat well with me because I had already built so many great friendships there in those 2 years, literally lifelong bonds with guys, yourself obviously included in that. And then I'm like, man, I can't leave that. This is too great of a place, and there's too great of people here. And then plus on top of that, they're like, hey, we want to get you on the field. We think you could be an asset. We think you really help us win games at this other position. So, and we think you could play at the next level at this other position. So all right, I trust you guys. I've trusted you guys from the start. So I'm not gonna waver on that. And just went along with it and put in the effort. So when I got to school, they're like, hey, you need to lose some weight. You're a little bit too big right now for a quarterback. So you got to lose 10, 15 pounds. So I got down to 210, feeling real lean, real smooth, but still how it is in the way you get strong as hell in there. And then they're like, hey, actually, by the way, we're going to need you to put on about 25 to 30 pounds over the next 2-3 years here. So, I don't know. It was a challenge, but it was a fun experience for me. And, I just appreciate that opportunity to get a chance to play. Not everyone gets a chance in another position, when things don't go well one spot.
Well, I would say that I think you were a trailblazer though in that area, because you were moved. I don't remember any tight ends that could move like you, block, but also run routes and catch the football. We had big guys, like you mentioned. We had Pashodi, who was a blocker. Posiak was a blocker, but he could run some routes, but he was a slower guy. He wasn't like the OD, hybrid. You're like a hybrid. You're like a rescue wedge.
Yeah.
I mean, so do you think you were the trailblazer for this specific position?
You were kind of the original H-back in the offense.
Yeah, you know what? I think I was fortunate to have just like Coach Alvarez's vision of that. They saw that even the year my redshirt freshman year where I was backup quarterback, they had me on special teams. So I think they had seen some of that athleticism, and they're like, okay, can he run routes? Can he catch the ball? All right. Okay. We saw that he could do that in bowl practice. And now it's like, okay, is he going to be willing to put his hand in the dirt and block guys? Right. So I always looked at myself, as we kind of referred to earlier, as a physical football player in general. Right. running over guys and the scout team. So I was never afraid of contact, even as a quarterback. It was just learning the technique and getting used to those fundamentals. It was all totally different than dropping back with the ball in your hand and looking down the field. Now, that being said, all that quarterback preparation as far as how to read defenses or what to look at pre-snap and post-snap, all that really, really helped as far as learning the offense and seeing defenses and adjusting routes and all the things that go into that as a tight end. So now, all that being said, I don't necessarily think that they I don't know if you remember this. I think I was a little bit of a project at first. They tried to do the old Iowa stand-up tight end thing with me, and first of all, I was a little light to be blocking the guys they're trying to have me block, especially that first year. And then they had me standing straight up, as Coach White would say, like a Pop-Tart. He's like, you can't play straight up like a Pop-Tart. All right, well, you got me standing here on the line of scrimmage like a Pop-Tart. Like, now I got to go down to go block somebody. You can, like, at least I put my hand on the ground. I put myself in position to be successful. So I think that was just a little bit of reminiscing from Coach Alvarez's old days. And
but dude, you were the mold. Like you created this mold. They didn't know what to do, and then by the end, like you were basically probably like one of our best threats.
We had to figure it out. I mean, we had so many weapons when it got to our senior year there with B. Will and J.O. and Calhoun. I mean, we had guys everywhere. And I when people talk about like best tight ends at Wisconsin, I never really consider myself to be in that category because I don't know, looking back at the stats, I just wasn't like a big, I didn't have that type of stat line like Garrett Graham had, or like Jake Ferguson has, or like Travis Beckham had, or probably other guys. Like I just didn't, I don't know what it was, if it was getting nicked up with ankle injuries, or just we had so many other guys that could make plays outside of myself, that we could spread the ball around everywhere and be a pretty balanced team. So I'm always like, wow. I'm not sure I belong in that category as far as the college version of myself, but because I don't think I ever had more than like 28 catches in a season, which is honestly not that many. They're playing 12, 13 games a year. So, but I am definitely proud of what I did there. And if I was like the original H-back, or because I know they converted Travis from linebacker to tight end, so, and others have followed. So it's hopefully, it's something to look at, and someone that could show recruits or show a guy like, hey, you ever heard of a guy named Owen Daniels? Like, yeah, he used to be a quarterback, and then we asked him to play tight end, and then he played 10 years in the NFL.
Dude, then he just played 10 years. He might have won the Super Bowl. Yeah.
He went out on top.
Yeah.
But I was very fortunate to be on a great team my last year to go out that way.
Dude, OD, and I didn't even intro you as a Super Bowl 50 champ.
Dude, that's pretty cool that I actually I did a signing recently. I get to sign my name as Super Bowl 50 champ, which is get to add that to the bottom of it.
Dude, you might be in the Hall of Fame one day at Wisconsin.
You know what? Oh, in Wisconsin? Ooh, I'm just happy to be in my high school Hall of Fame, man.
You might be in the Hall of Fame of the NFL. What do you, Matt? We were looking up before. Top 25 of all time?
So, yeah, top 25 in every major receiving category of tight ends of all time. I think especially like yards per reception, you were like 13th too. Like which was really impressive to me, amongst other things. I mean, you had 6,000 something yards in the league, I want to say. Yep. I had it up in front of me, 5,661. But let's talk about your time in the league a little bit. I know we're running short here a little bit on time. what was your first of all, what was your draft prep like? What was that experience like for you? And then going to the Texans, did you know that you were going to have the success you did when you headed into that position?
Yeah, so draft prep, right? So that I think our class of guys was one of the first. I think we had the most guys go leave Madison to prep for the draft that year. Typically, guys would stay in Madison and train with JD and the staff and get ready for the draft and get ready for the combine, things like that. We had a bunch of guys decide to do our own thing that year. And it was no like disrespect to the staff at Wisconsin or anything like that. It was just, okay, I need to maybe get away from the city and kind of almost get like locked down for 8 weeks to get ready for this big time job interview. So, I went out to Fair Lawn, New Jersey, to train at Parisi Speed School.
Yeah, I know it very well.
Any idea where that is? Yeah. So I was there, however long it was, 6 weeks, and grinded out through like a crazy snowstorm, 2 workouts a day. So, and then the whole combine experience was crazy. It was a blur, an absolute blur. Just remember long days, early mornings, long days. And then the whole draft day experience or draft weekends experience, it was back when it was just Saturday, Sunday. And, I was projected, so that knee injury was like a red flag, I think, for a lot of teams. So I was projected 3rd round to 5th round. At that time, it was Saturday, was the first 3 rounds. And so I had some people at the house and family and friends, and it got later on in the day, 3rd round, and the picks kept going off the board, and then Chicago had a pick, and I think they traded the pick. They had like 70 picks, number 70 something, and they ended up trading it. And I was like, all right, well, I had talked to them, and you're kind of going through the teams you had interviews with, and talking to your agent, and it kind of gets quieter and quieter in the house. I was like, hey, like we still got tomorrow. And that was actually ended up being really, really cool, because you know how it goes later on in the day as the rounds go along. They start out the day, they got the camera on the podium and the guy's saying the guy's name, and it flashes on the bottom of the screen. And then at some point, they just get to highlights of guys, and then there's flashing names that pop up, draft picks come in. They don't show the guy actually announcing the player's name. So it was Sunday morning, getting ready to go. Phone rings, right? Coach Kubiak, he's like, how you doing? He's like, you been in any trouble? It's like, no, coach. You ain't been arrested or anything, have you? Like, no, coach, I'm all right. I'm good. He's like, you feeling good? You healthy? He's like, you ready to be a Houston Texan? I was like, oh, all right, let's do this. And I remember having a meeting with them at the combine. They had a joint meeting with the Broncos just because of their relationship in the past. And that was Coach Kubiak's first year in Houston, 2006. That was his first year as a head coach. And so I'm on the line with them, and they're passing the phone along, and the cell phone, I'm getting someone else is calling me, and I'm looking at the number. It's like 504. I don't know this number. I didn't know area codes there very well back then. And actually I should have known
504 boys.
Park, yeah. I should have known. I should have like, what is this? And so obviously I couldn't answer. I was on the team that was drafting me. And so I ended up with that phone call. He's like, all right. He's like, we're going to take you with this first pick. We're going to take you with the first pick of the 4th round. It was the first pick of the day. Right. And so that call finished up. A few minutes later, phone rings again. It's that 504 number, and it was Sean Payton. What's up, Owen? How you doing? Actually, so Sean Payton and I went to the same high school, as a matter of fact.
Naperville Central, yeah.
Naperville Central High School. And so he's like, "Hey man, has anyone called you up today? We're ready to take you." They had the second pick. They had so at the time it was the Texans had the 98th pick, and the Saints had the 99th pick. And I'm like, actually, yeah. Houston just called. They said they're going to take me with this 98th pick. He's like, oh, he was disappointed. He's like, well, if something happens, we'll be right behind them to take you. If it doesn't work out for them. I'm like, all right, sounds good, coach. Sorry to bring you that news, but good luck. Good luck if I don't talk to you. And so it was cool. I got to see the guy. I forget who it was. Go up to the podium and announce my name. So I got to hear and see my name get called and actually get drafted on national television, which was an awesome experience. And then so all the commotion, excitement kind of settled down, and like, all right, what are the Saints going to do with this pick? And they ended up trading the pick, which was kind of also pretty cool right behind it. Like, okay, if we can't have this guy, then we're gonna get some value for this pick that we had. So and they ended up going to the Super Bowl that year. Or going to the NFC Championship game. Oh, they went to the Super Bowl. They won a Super Bowl a few years later, but yeah, that was draft day, man, and that was the beginning of my time in Houston.
So we don't know we have too much time left. You spent 10 years with Gary Kubiak. Yeah,
so I have as much time as you guys need. It's up to you. If you guys got to go, then we'll cut it wherever you need to cut it. But I have time. If that's
I got like 10 more minutes.
Yeah, same.
Cool.
Wait, so Matt, before you start that, what's it like playing with Peyton Manning?
It was crazy. So playing with Peyton was wild because I was a quarterback growing up, right? And I remembered where I wore Peyton Manning's college jersey to school. And I don't know how old I was, like 8th grade, maybe freshman in high school. I was wearing Peyton Manning's 16 Tennessee jersey to school on like Fridays. And then to go, and I got to meet him at a Pro Bowl. And so that was surreal. And then to be in the huddle with him and like helping him learn, because he was like such an unselfish player. He's the best dude. Like, he is the best. And to take a step back and learn Coach Kubiak's offense in his last year playing was like, was really unheard of for a guy of his stature and his success to do that. But that was like the plan they had going forward, and just to be in the huddle, kind of talking him through things and working with him during practice, after practice, pre-practice, man. I just feel so lucky, very grateful to play with that guy. And we still keep in touch. I was at his Hall of Fame. I got invited to his Hall of Fame enshrinement, which is very, very cool. Especially only having spent 1 year, even though it was a pretty special year that we spent together. I caught his last 2 touchdown passes. I don't know where the second to last one is. Some kid in Denver has it. I spiked that thing and went in the stands about 5 rows. And I kept the last one for a while. I gave it to the rightful owner at which is Peyton, obviously, at his Hall of Fame enshrinement. So I had my time with the ball, and now it's home where it should be. So playing with him was a dream come true.
That's amazing.
Unbelievable. I mean, catching touchdown passes from Peyton Manning. I mean, 10 years in the league, dude, and you came into Wisconsin as a QB on the scout team.
That's crazy, man. I know. I mean, I got one chance to play in the championship game, and it was against the Patriots. And I feel like there's a book about Bill Belichick and the Patriot way, and he talks about me in the book a little bit, and kind of like when it's like I gotta have the situations, they're gonna look to me. Not necessarily all game, but like in a crucial situation, that's what they're gonna look to. And man, we had schemed up some good red zone plays that week, and got an opportunity with some one-on-one coverages against a linebacker, and Peyton made some great throws, and I was able to run some nice routes and finish the plays off. And I mean, just really like couldn't have written it better. couldn't have ended my career better.
Would you have 3 touchdowns in that game?
I had two. It was only 2 we scored though. So we needed those. And I thought that I thought the Super Bowl might end up similar, because I got the very first play of the game thrown to me, like 18-yard catch to start off the game. Like, oh, all right, this might be a fun one right here. I didn't get a target the rest of the game.
Odie, let me tell you,
got a ring out of it, and it was unbelievable.
Well, watching you play not only with Denver, but with all the teams you play with, I loved watching. Man, I was like, that's my guy, man. And you were out there doing it and really well. And I just couldn't. I always felt so lucky to have had the experiences with you. Like, we spent 35, 40 minutes of this not even talking about football. And that's like what I love about you and about some other friendships. I used to go see Jimmy Leonard when he was playing with the Jets. Like, it just meant so much to know that, like, these dudes that we came in with were playing and doing well. And it was so exciting to be part of your growth.
Absolutely. I felt that. And I think Jimmy probably felt that too. Like, we felt that support and we felt that love from all of Wisconsin faithful and all of our old teammates. And because we all went through it together, right? We're like, I feel like we're all connected. We're all kind of the reason, like, we all push each other. We all are kind of the reason we all got to where we are. Right. And so, playing here in Houston and going up to go play in Lambeau in 2008 in like 3 below temperatures, just feeling the love from all the Wisconsin faithful up there, even though I was on the wrong team, who ended up winning that game, by the way. It's just, that's a special place up in Wisconsin and the state in general, specifically Madison, just all the people that come through there. It's tight knit, and everyone's definitely connected along the line somewhere. And you feel that, and so I think it's good to reflect on that stuff. So that's why I love having these conversations, and love looking back on those times and remembering this. It's easy to get caught up nowadays. It's like life, fatherhood, trying to be a great leader for your family, and then trying to find something else to do out, beyond football. It's, but to look back on those things and to have people you can always connect with and just kind of fall back into that same rhythm with, is something that I don't think you can get everywhere,
I completely agree with you. And I think that's like the Wisconsin way. It's just that special, it touches your heartstrings, like every single where like, if you spend 4 years in Madison, that's probably one of your favorite places to ever be.
100%.
And in Camp Randall, if you're on the field, I mean, Odie, watching the beauty of jump around from the field, like standing in the end zone close to it, is it's unbelievable.
Every time it gives me chills. I only get chills on one side. I only get chills on my right side because I took a hit in 2012, and that hasn't been the same since. So, but I get chills even watching back home.
Dude, you're gonna make me cry. Oh my God,
amazing.
that's so funny. All right, Matt, ask your. Oh yeah, I got one question for you. What do you listen to right before a game?
Oh man, before games,
504 boys, clearly.
Dude, I'll say 3-6 Mafia, 504 boys, 100%. Just going back to the old Regent playlist. I would definitely listen to some rap, and I would definitely listen to some house music. Whatever was kind of the song of the month at the time. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you a couple more rapid fire questions. Favorite route to run?
Oh, I love running a choice route. I can go in or out. It's a man beater. And I feel like I could win on that all day long.
Biggest physical freak you played with at Madison and then in the NFL?
Oh, probably Erasmus James in Madison. That was not fun trying to block him. And then, in the NFL, you could name a whole bunch of people. I had a teammate named Mario Williams, who was pretty hard to block. I also had a teammate named DeMarcus Ware, who launched me damn near into the goalpost when I was playing when he was on the Cowboys. So those guys for sure.
And don't forget about Von Miller.
Well, Von Miller, yeah, he's a little bit. He'll lift up 330-pound man with one arm. But I didn't have to face him so much. He was tried to beat me with quickness. DeMarcus just tried to take me off my feet.
Hardest hit you ever took?
Oh, the hardest hit I ever took. Okay. So it was either my rookie year, Keith Bullock hit me. My right shoulder has never been the same since. I used to be able to throw a football 65 yards, no problem. And I could probably throw like 30, 35 now. Then my final season, Reggie Nelson lit me up on Monday Night Football. And so yeah, those two hits right there, I'll never forget.
All right, and finally, go ahead.
They didn't hit me in the head, so they didn't hit my knees or my head. So a big respect to those guys for that.
And then finally, do you have like one catch that you're like, holy shit, I can't believe I made that catch?
Let's see. Yeah. I do. It was in the AFC Championship game. It was the AFC Championship game. I was wide ass open and kind of just like a stutter and go in the middle of the field and beat my defender. Except the ball legitimately was thrown right in the sun. And I knew that if we called this play going the way that we were going, which was in the first quarter, that would be an issue. And I was legitimately scared. Like, I really, really hope that like we're going the other way because I know we're going to call this play early. We get down the red zone. And sure enough, I'm running and I couldn't see the ball. And I'm wide open. It's the AFC Championship. Everyone's watching. And I just told myself, just keep looking and just keep running. Just keep running. You stop running. If you watch that play, you see like a still picture. It's like barely. I double caught it. It's like barely. I almost like try to catch it too quick. And then I re-caught it. So I cannot believe that I concentrated that much to be able to catch that ball. Yeah.
That's the weatherman and then old sure hands coming into play together.
I was prepared. For action. I was ready.
Well, OD, I mean, dude, this was fantastic. I mean, just to catch up was so special. All those memories are seared into my brain. The 504 boys, I think they only have one song. I'm not sure if they have a different. I never listened to any other song besides that one song over and over and over. The time that you and I tried chewing tobacco together, another special time.
I didn't get to ask your favorite Matt Bernstein memory.
Oh boy,
that you can share on the show.
This is a good one. It's football. It's all football related. So Bernie, he's the Hebrew Hammer. He's kind of like Marshawn Lynch. Like he's gonna get his more than he gets got, right? So more times but sometimes he's gonna get got, right? And so like I remember someone caught Burn one day at practice. And he's like, well, yeah, win some, lose a bunch.
You win some, you lose a bunch. I've been saying it since high school.
Oh my gosh. I'll never forget that.
That might have been Alex Lewis, because that dude caught me a lot.
Man. Hey, that's a guy. Hey, no shame getting caught by that guy.
No, that I was okay with.
Run up against him in the league a couple times. So
you lose some, you win a bunch, and you can't bat 1,000.
Can't bat 1,000.
Can't bat 1,000. Oh man, OD, thank you so much. I wish we had 5 more hours to connect, but
yeah, sorry about Tuesday.
We'll have to figure out a time to get to a game and do it up like we did that last time. What's
Absolutely.
Are you going to Vegas?
I'm not going to Vegas.
Yeah.
I'm too old for that shit.
I would love to.
They're like, hey, do you guys want to golf out there? And like, cause they got great golf actually. And I want to go to that stadium. That stadium looks awesome.
Yes.
But it's gonna be crazy out there. I got it.
One day with you, I'll go to a bowl game.
I've been drinking almost 3 years, so it's gonna be a tough.
Well, good luck.
Yeah, for my mental health's sake. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I think you'll be all right. You'll be all right.
Yeah.
All right. OD, dude, it's very special, man. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, this is fantastic. And until next time, on Wisconsin.
On Wisconsin.
On Wisconsin.